waiting for it to connect there. Unreen, hello, Unreen. Hello, Shini. Nice to see you. Just type into the chat whether you're taking IELTS Academic. Actually, you are taking IELTS Academic because this is IELTS Academic. When you're taking your test, can you please put that into the chat? I'm curious when you're taking your test. Still connecting to YouTube Live. 14th of October. Okay, lots of people are taking it the 14th of October. Is anybody taking it in Melbourne on the 14th of October by any chance? Where are you taking it? Oh, good. All right, no problem. Interesting. Okay, good. No problem. Cool. All right, sounds good. Just still connecting to YouTube. It's just about to time out. Then I'll have to click it again. Just bear with me. While you're there, type into the chat what score you're aiming for in your IELTS, please. What band score are you aiming for? Okay, did time out. Let's try again. 7s. Everybody needs 7s. Oh, Amreen needs 8s. Fair enough. 7s and 8s. Okay, no problem. Okay, good. It's working. Thank you, YouTube. Very good. All right. Hello, everybody on YouTube. I'm just connecting there. Hello. I type into the chat. Hope you're all doing well. Right. Let's get started on this. So let me check that that's working. Let me, that's fine. Actually, that's all I need. Good. Hi, everyone. My name is Jay. I'm one of the expert teachers here at E2 Language. In this live class, we're going to look at IELTS Academic Writing Task 1. We're going to look at another bar graphs one, mainly because I ran out of time and I couldn't find a good graph looking at pie charts and whatnot. But I did find this tricky bar graphs one. I thought it would be a good one to do because when you first look at this, you think, oh my God, how am I supposed to write 150 words and describe this? Just have a look at this for a few seconds. Wrap your head around this. Population by age group, 2014 percentages, 3 countries, Cambodia, Thailand, and Myanmar. On the x-axis, we have age categories, 0 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, etc., up to 100 plus. So in this live class, we're going to look at how we're going to describe this, how we're going to create a summary sentence, how we're going to describe the key features, and then how we're going to move into a paragraph where we compare data, okay? This is going to be a little bit tricky, but I'll show you a good structure. Okay, first thing we need to do is read that task description that says, sorry, the graph description that says, the graph below shows the population of 3 countries by age group in 2014. The graph below, fine, let's break this down a little bit. The graph below, here it is here, shows, fine, the population of 3 countries, Cambodia, Thailand, Myanmar, by age group. Well, we saw down here below, it was like 0 to 4, it was like 5 to 19 or whatever it was, by age group in 2014. And it's in percentages, fine. Okay, that's fine. Now what we need to do is summarize the information, select and report the main features, make comparisons. So we need a structure for this. Structure is going to have 3 parts. We're going to summarize, describe, and compare. Summarize, describe, and compare. So what it's going to look like on test day will be this. We're going to have a first sentence up here, a summary sentence, just a single sentence, 1 or 2 sentences, typically just 1 sentence. Then we're going to describe the main trends or the key features of that graph we just looked at. In the third part, we're going to compare. We're going to compare the countries by age group, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to divide it up into sections so we can compare it logically. Or yes, let's start with the summary because that's dead easy. The bar chart represents the populations of Cambodia, Thailand, and Myanmar in terms of age groups in the year 2014. How did I write that? Well, what I did is I rewrote this in my own words. Please, into the chat, into the YouTube comments, rewrite that graph description in your own words, please. Just let me check something. See if this is working. Okay, I think it's working. Looks like we had a little technical problem. If you're on YouTube, just type in if you can see what's going on here. Somebody's saying no video. You might have to refresh your YouTube browser, okay? We'll give you another 30 seconds to rewrite this. Okay, looks like we have a little technical error on YouTube. Just bear with me. What's going on here? Let me just pause it. Okay, live on YouTube. If you stream on YouTube, let me check. No video apparently. All right, fine. Let me just start that YouTube stream again. Sorry, just bear with me here. All right. Hopefully that's working. All right, cool. Fine, that's no good. All right, guys, in the webinar, let me give you some feedback on your sentence. The bar chart is a graphical representation of different population categories of age over 3 territories. No, not territories, countries. Some words you can't create a synonym for. Some words you have to use directly from the text. That's fine. So countries. Just say instead of the bar chart is a graphical representation of, just say the bar chart represents, okay? Use the same, just a present simple verb. The bar chart illustrates the number of people in Cambodia, Thailand, and Myanmar in the year 2014. In fact, it doesn't represent the number of people. It represents the proportion of age, like how many 0 to 5-year-olds in percentage, how many 5 to 8-year-olds in percentage, etc. So be careful with getting the content right. The given bar chart represents the percentage of different age groups in Cambodia, Thailand, and Myanmar in the year 2014. Good. The graph gives information about the population details of 3 different countries in 2014. Population details, I would say the age group, the population age groups, fine. The bar chart represents the population of 3 different countries. Again, it's not the population, it's the, let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at it. Let's go back and have a look at this. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's here. Okay. So what is it representing? It's not representing the population. It's representing, yes, it's representing the population, but by age group. So you must write that. You can't just say the graph represents the population. It represents the population from 0 to 4-year-olds, 5 to 9-year-olds. So you would say this graph represents the population by age group, or this represents the population by age category, or this graph represents the proportion of the population by age across 3 countries, something like that. That would be better. Cool. All right. So we've done the first sentence there. That's cool. Let me show you how I would do it. I'm going to write here. So the graph below. So I'm going to say the bar chart. I'm going to say, instead of shows, I'm going to say represents. Okay, the population of 3 countries by age group. Okay, I'm going to say the percentage. How am I going to do this? I'm going to say the bar chart represents population by age group. I'm going to say the various various categories of age. No, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to say the bar chart represents the various ages. Okay, let's try this. And this is seriously what happens in my mind when I'm writing on test day. The various age categories, various or I don't need the, I just say, I can cross that out. Bar chart represents various age categories. Categories, fine. Of Cambodia. No. That's not good enough. I'm going to start again. I'm going to tell you, let's start again. Let's start again. The bar graph represents, okay, good. This is better. Represents the populations of, instead of saying 3 countries, I'm going to name them Cambodia, Thailand, and Myanmar. I'll just say C, T, and M. In the real exam, I would write the whole thing. The bar graph represents the populations of Cambodia, Thailand, and Myanmar. And then I would say by age group or by category of age. Okay, this is better. By category of age in 2014. Okay, good. Now this has really captured the exact same meaning of this, but in a different way. So this says the graph below shows the population of 3 countries by age group. The bar graph represents the populations of Cambodia, Thailand, and Myanmar by category of age in 2014. Okay. Now you can see that, you know, I struggled with this. I started one way. I had to stop. I had to think, no. I was trying to force a certain sentence and I had to stop and say, no, that's not it. So I started again. And then I found it. I said, yes, this is the way that I need to order that sentence and structure it. Okay. So you may have to do this on test day, but the problem is on test day, you're writing on that piece of paper and it's not a keyboard and a computer and you can't just delete the text and restart again. So you need to think through your sentence, think it in your head before you write it out. This is a real skill and it's something that I think we're sort of losing in today's age with computer technology because we don't need to do that anymore. Cool. All right, good one. So let's see what my actual sentence said. I said the bar chart represents the populations of Cambodia, Thailand, and Myanmar in terms of age groups in the year 2014. Fine. Now we're going to move to this part here and we're going to describe main trends or key features. Okay. I'm going to skip that. So let's look at this. Describe main trends or key features. Okay, so we're not really comparing yet. What I want to do is I want to describe Cambodia. Then I want to describe Thailand and just a single sentence for each, and Myanmar. Okay, in terms of their population breakdown. So let's look at Cambodia first. Let's look at the blue bars. Only the blue bars. So when you look at this, disregard the gray and the red. And you look at the blue and it says, okay, so what happens here? It sort of goes like this. Zoom. Okay, I want you to describe that for me in a single sentence, please, and type it into the chat or the comments. All right, I think it's working on YouTube now. Good. All right. All right. I'm going to help you. I'm going to write my sentence down here. Okay, so I just need a single sentence. I'm going to forget Myanmar and Thailand. I'm just discussing Cambodia, population by age group. So I'm going to say, so I've got several things going on here. It's relatively stable or relatively even. Then at 30 to 34, there's a significant decrease in numbers, a slight increase, and before it gradually decline. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say the population of Cambodia, is relatively even. Okay, is relatively even. That's this bit here until here. What age is this? Until the age of 35. Until the age of 35, where it decreases suddenly. Whoops, suddenly, before increasing again and before decreases suddenly, before a slight increase. My handwriting is so messy. I hope the IELTS examiners can actually read this. I have to be careful. Before a slight increase and then a gradual fall. Okay, so I've done this in a single sentence. Let's read it. The population of Cambodia, in the actual exam, of course, I would write the full word. I'm just writing it in shorthand for your benefit. The population of Cambodia is relatively even. Okay, cool. That's this bit. Until the age of 35, where it decreases suddenly. That's this bit. Okay, before a slight increase. Okay, that's that bit. And then a gradual fall or a gradual decline. Okay, so that's my sentence there. I've just described what happened to Cambodia, and Cambodia was relatively complex compared to Myanmar and Thailand. So please go ahead and write single sentences for Myanmar and Thailand as well. Let me just help you out here. Okay, let me help you out. I'm going to show you the trajectory of Thailand. It's pretty easy. That's a pretty easy trajectory. Now, let me change the color of my pen here. Choose gray. Fine. Let me move that. And let me show you the trajectory of Myanmar. Okay, fine. Please describe in a single sentence each of those lines, those general trends. All right, let's have a look at some of your answers here in the chat. Cambodia started high with a stable population until the age of 35, where there was a decrease. Good. Okay, that's fine. Good. Okay, let's have a look at some other ones. The population of Myanmar slightly raised until age 35, semicolon. After that, it decreased sharply. Good, Joe, that's fine. Well done. Good use of semicolon, actually. It worked well. In Thailand, the population showed a steady increase followed by a gradual decrease. Okay, fine. However, the population in Myanmar showed minimal increase before dropping. Okay, good. We're just describing those general trends there. Nothing more, not going into detail, no data necessary, just the general trends here. In Thailand, the percentage of the population increased slightly until the age of 45. comma, or even full stop, new sentence. After that, it decreased gradually. Good. Nice, 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 nice. Well done. I'm liking these. Okay, good. What else have we got? Any more? Good. That's fine. That's fine. Look, I'll give you another minute or two to finish the other sentence, please. Okay, so I'm getting some interesting ones on YouTube. Okay, so there's a few on YouTube. Just be careful with your verbs because somebody's using will verbs. The population will increase, but this is in 2014. So there'll be no use of future tense verbs. It's all going to be past tense, right? Because 2014 is behind us. So we'll say the population increased and then gradually fell. We're not going to say the population will increase and will fall because that would be the future. Okay. In the case of Thailand, the population increased slowly but started to fall down sharply. Okay, fine. Okay, good. Population of Thailand initially increased until the age of 40 years and then started to gradually decline. Good. Well done, well done, well done. I'm nearly out of battery there, so I can't comment for too long, but good, 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 good. So let's have a look at mine here. I said Cambodia has a relatively young population that is proportional until the age of 35 years, where it decreases dramatically. Okay, I've actually kept it quite simple here. Thailand's population increases in age until 40 years old, where it decreases gradually. Myanmar's population increases in age until 30 years before decreasing slowly. So I've just described the major trends there, the major trends, that's all. Fine, that's the easy bit. Now we move on to the tricky bit. And this graph is particularly tricky because we can't, okay, let me take you through this now. Actually, I need to change the color here, back to red. Let me take you through this again. Okay, so what we want to do is we need to compare. So we're going to compare Cambodia with Thailand and Myanmar. Okay, fine. So let's look at 0 to 4. We can see that Cambodia is at about 11%. Thailand is at about 5%. And Myanmar is at about 8%. Okay, but we can't really do that. What we need to do, because we can't compare that in a sentence, then a sentence here, and then a sentence here, then a sentence here, because it's going to be way too long and we're going to write about 400 words. That's not possible. So what we need to do is we need to look at this graph and we need to divide it into 3. Okay, so what I would do is I would divide it about here. Let's divide it here. Actually, let me just divide it by age category here so you can think. So I'm going to divide it there. And I'm going to compare the 3 countries up to this point. Okay, then next I'm going to divide it, say, here. And then I'm going to have another division here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is compare this section here. So I'm going to compare Cambodia with Thailand and Myanmar here. So let me just do this verbally. So I'm going to say from the ages of 0 to 34, because that's the section I'm looking at, Cambodia's population slightly declined from, say, let's say 11%. I'm going to say 0 to 34, Cambodia's population declined from, let's say 11% to, where does it stop here? About 9%, gradual decline. Okay, fine. That's my first sentence there. From the age group of 0 to 34, Cambodia's population declined from around 11% to 9%. Okay, fine. Let's start the next part because now we want to bring in the other country. In comparison, Myanmar's population increased. The population by age increased from, what's this, say 8% to 9%. So Myanmar's increased from 8% to 9%. Okay, I'm sorry, my handwriting's so bad. And Thailand's population, similarly, Thailand's population increased from 5% to, say, 7%. So Thailand's increased from 5% to 7%. See if you can put that into one, two, or even three sentences, please. We're just describing this part here. 1, 2, or 3 sentences. See how you go. I'm going to give you a little bit of help. I'm going to give you some words here. In contrast, we want to put that one here, okay? And we want to say here, similarly. All right. I'm going to have to get rid of my drawings there. Okay, let's have a look at your sentences here. Okay, good. Okay, from the age of 0 to 4 to 30 to 34. Okay, you can just say 0 to 34 because that combines all of those ages. Cambodia's population decreased from nearly 11% to under 10%, whereas the population in Thailand and Myanmar increased gradually from 5% and 8% to 7% and 9% respectively. Well done. Really, really nicely written. Well done. Cambodia's population decreases from 11% to about 9%. Myanmar rose from 8% to almost 9%, while Thailand increased from blah, blah, blah. Okay, good, that's fine. You want to use some linking words in there like in contrast or similarly, words like that. Between the age group of 0 to 34, Cambodia's age group decreased slowly, whereas Myanmar's population increased. When comparing to Thailand's population rose. Okay, not quite, but not bad. When comparing the population of the given countries of age 0 to 34, we can see that Cambodia decreased gradually from 11 to 9%, whereas Myanmar increased 5% to 8%. Similarly, Thailand observed a rise from 5 to 8%. Good, nice use of linking words there like in contrast and similarly. Well done. Between the age group of 0 and 34, the percentage of the population of Cambodia decreased steadily, falling from 11 to 9%. By contrast, Thailand and Myanmar followed a similar trend, rising from 8 to 9% in Myanmar and from 5 to 7% in Thailand. Good, nice, looking really good there. Let's move on to the second part then. Okay, so we've described up to here. Okay, so we've done this part here, so we can get rid of that. Now we want to look at this proportion of the population. Okay, we want to look at 35. Okay, let's do it again because I think that was good. We want to look at 35 to 69-year-olds. Okay, what proportion of the population were 35 to 69? Okay, well, let's look at in Cambodia. Okay, so Cambodia, it rose quite dramatically from 35 to 40 and then fell again before gradually declining. Okay, that's fine. So that's Cambodia. And what are the specific numbers here? Well, it went from, what's that? Maybe 5%. Went from 5%. How am I going to do this? Just bear with me. I'm going to raise this. Cool. Using my cool technology here. Okay, so let's do this again. Okay, so Cambodia, the population, 35 to 40, it rose from say 5. Let's just say it must be about 4 to 5. Let's just say 4 to 5. We don't have to be too precise because we can't be too precise. Rose to 4 to 5, but then decreased gradually from say 5 down to 3. Okay, fine. So that's Cambodia. That's tricky. That's Cambodia. Cambodia is the tricky one, remember? That little dip here was really tricky. Now let's look at Thailand. So Thailand's, well, we can basically just say that Thailand's basically gradually declined. So Thailand gradually declined from say, it's just over 8. So just over 8. So we can just say plus just over 8%. And what did it decline to? Around 3%. Okay, so 3%. Fine. That's Thailand. That's easier. Let's do the next section here, which is Myanmar, the gray one. And that also just followed a gradual, consistent decline. That's Myanmar. It's a decline. And it declined from, let's say, here. So 8, right on 8, down to say 2%. 8 to 2%. Okay, see if you can put that into a sentence for me. I know that looks like crazy language, but it's probably not a bad way to do it. Whoops, sorry, I just absolutely destroyed that. Let me look at yours. Let me look at yours. What have we got here? Okay, from 35 to 69-year-olds in Cambodia, the percentage rose from just over 4% to 5% before showing a gradual decrease to under 2%. However, Thailand and Myanmar followed a similar trend by showing gradual decrease from 9 to 2%. Good, well done. I don't think however is the right word there. I can't, what it would be the right word? Would it be in contrast, or it might not be a single word. It might be something like, what about compared? Compared to Cambodia, Myanmar and Thailand showed a gradual decrease. Okay, that might be a good way to do it, because when you say in contrast, it usually shows an opposite trend. But if you just say compared to Cambodia, Myanmar and Thailand showed a gradual decrease. Good, well done. Comparatively, the age of 30, in the age bracket of to 34, Thailand population grew from 5 to 7%. Okay, that was the one before. I'll give you some more time now. I think we're doing, I forget which one we're doing, 35. We divided this up, remember? Actually, I want to do something. Hold on. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to type this out for you. Okay, fine. Let's do this. Let me put a text box in there. Let me increase the size. Okay, let me move this. Cool. This will be fun. Let me do this. All right, let me share my screen with you. I'm going to type this out for you. I'm going to do it live. Let me move this. Let me type this out. Okay. So I'm going to start with, let's start from the start. Okay. Let's do 0 to say, let's do 0 to 34, as we said. For the age bracket of 0 to 34, okay, good. So I'm just telling the reader where to look from 0 to 34. So the reader knows to look from here to here. So I'm just looking at this section. Now I'm going to talk about Cambodia first. For the age brackets of 0, bracket singular, for the age bracket of 0 to 34, Cambodia's population remained relatively even at between, let's say, what is that, 11 and 9%. 11 and 9%. Okay, fine. So I've described Cambodia. Now I need to compare. So remain relatively even. So now I can use an in contrast because it's doing something completely different. In contrast, okay, Myanmar's and Thailand's population increased slightly from, now I'll do Myanmar's first, which was from 8% to 9%, from 8% to 9%, and Thailand, which was 5% to 7%, 5% to 7% respectively. Okay, fine. I've done that category now. I've described and compared that category. Now I'm going to move on. Let me get out my pen because I want to do this with you. So I've done this one now up to 34. Now again, we're going to start this one here. Let's describe this one. Fine, I have to get rid of that. So now we go back to this one and we say, okay. So originally I said this, so I don't want to repeat this exactly. I said for the age bracket of 0 to 34. So I'll say something like with regards to 35 to, what am I doing? 69-year-olds, comma, the Cambodian population, what happened to it? Increased quite dramatically from, what was it, 35 from, in the age bracket 35 to 39. Okay, fine. Before a gradual decrease from, what was it, 5% to about 3%. Okay, that was probably the hardest one. Cambodia is really tough. Now let's do Myanmar from 35 to 69. So Myanmar's population, so I'm going to say in not in contrast, I'm going to say in comparison. I'm not contrasting. In comparison, Myanmar's population declined gradually from 9%, cool, to 3%, to 2% rather. Okay, fine. And I can continue this sentence, and Thailand's population followed a similar trajectory, increasing slightly from, where is it? From, say, from just over 8%, before decreasing gradually to 3%. Cool. Okay, fine. I've done those two parts now. Let's go back to me. This is hard. This is really hard. It's not just about language here. It's about understanding what's happening in that graph. It's about being intelligent and dividing that graph into parts, because you can't compare all of those different things. You can't compare 0 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, etc. Okay? So you need to look at it, you need to divide it into thirds and then compare those thirds and talk about the percentages. There's a lot going on here. I've got to say, this is not an easy thing. Let's read mine so far. Let's make this bigger and let's read it. Okay, for the age bracket of 0 to 34, so I'm looking at this section here. I'm going to look at Cambodia first. Cambodia's population remained relatively even at between 11 and 9%. Fine. In contrast, Myanmar's and Thailand's population increased slightly from 8% to 9% and 5% to 7% respectively. Yes, good. Now I moved on to the next section, which was 35, starting here, this section here, 35 to 69-year-olds, this section here. And I said, with regards to 35 to 69-year-olds, the Cambodian population increased quite dramatically in the age bracket 35 to 39, before a gradual decrease from 5% to about 3%. In comparison, Myanmar's population declined gradually from 9%, sorry, it should say 2%, and Thailand's population followed a similar trajectory, increasing slightly from just over 8% before decreasing gradually to 3%. So I've done 2/3 of it. I've got one more section left, and it should be a pretty simple section. I'm going to leave it up to you to finish this last sentence. So let me draw what I want you to now describe. So we're going to do this section here. We're going to do 70 to 100 plus. And you can see the trends are all pretty similar. So let's forget this. Please write that final sentence comparing Cambodia, Thailand, and Myanmar from 70 to 100 plus years of age, please. All right, how's it looking there? How's that sentence building going? It's kind of tough. Valentine, just bear with me. I'll give you the link, Valentine, so you can watch this on YouTube Live. Valentine, please click that link I just put into the chat. Comparing 70 and over age groups, Thailand had more population that gradually decreased than Cambodia and Myanmar, which followed a similar decreasing trend. Good. All you need to do, Sydney, now is put in some percentages. And you can just put a average percentage or something from, say, 2% down to 0%. Okay, remember to keep that, some of that y-axis, some of that numerical data, some of the numbers in your comparison. Furthermore, let's look at this one here. Okay, I'll give you a few more minutes to complete that one. Okay, I can just realize that I can use text here. Gotta love technology. I'm going to delete all of this. And then I'm going to increase the size. Cool, I can actually write on the screen. Just bear with me. Fine, let me put it here. Oh, cool, I can write on the screen. All right, I'm going to write mine while you write yours. Okay, fine. can see it. Oh, I can't edit it. I can see a typographical error. Cool, that's fine. Now I can't check yours. Okay, let's just look at mine and then I'll come and have a look at yours in a second. Let me get out my pen here. Okay, so now I'm going to discuss this section here. Whoop, even actually up to 100. But what happened here? Well, Thailand has more old people, basically. A higher proportion of the population are old in Thailand. Well, if we look here, 70, 74-year-olds, about 3% of Thai people are between 70 and 74, 2% are between 75 and 79, and then it starts to decrease like that. So I said, regarding the ages of 70 or more than 100 years, all three trends were similar, showing a stable downward trend. You're right. Look, Thailand decreased, Myanmar decreased, Cambodia decreased. Of course, they're decreasing because people are getting old and they're dying. Thailand's population decreased from around 3% to 100%. Good, fine. Cambodia's population fell from 1% to 0%, fine. And Myanmar's population, which was the lowest, decreased from 1% to 0%. Cool, so I've just described this category here. Fine, now I have to get rid of all that text. Let me read yours, and then I think I'm gonna have to go and get some dinner. Conversely, population of age 70 to more than 100, there has been a drastic decrease in all three countries. Okay, good, yes, that's fine. Cambodia and Myanmar fell from slightly below 2% to 0%, while Thailand from more than 3% to 0%. Excellent, good. Good. Your first sentence is a little bit clunky. I would say with regards to the population of 70 to more than 100, comma, there was, okay? Joe, for the age bracket 70 to 100 plus, the populations decreased steadily amongst all groups from over 2% to nearly 0%. Okay, Joe, what you should do there is actually, instead of using the respectively thing, you should just say Cambodia's fell from this much to this much, Thailand's fell from this much to this much, and Myanmar's similarly fell from this much to this much, because the respectively thing is a tricky form, and I don't think you've quite got it there. Coming to the final age group, which varies between 70 and over, the percentage of the population decreases from around 3 to 0% in a gradual manner, followed by the Thailand and Myanmar in the same pattern. Good, I get it. That last little bit's not right. I would say, with regards to the final age group, which varies between 70 and over, comma, the percentage of the population decreases from around 3% to 0% in a gradual manner for all three countries. Okay, that would work well. Next one. Between age groups 70 to 100, the population for the three countries showed a steady decreasing trend, full stop. Thailand had more old age group people than the other two countries, falling from about 2.5% to 0%, compared with Thailand, Cambodia, and in comparison, new sentence, in comparison, Thailand and Cambodia, sorry, I see what you're doing. Compared with Thailand, comma, compared with a D, compared with Thailand, comma, Cambodia and Myanmar had similar percentages decreasing from 2% to 0%. Excellent. Well done. Really, really good. Good, good, good. One more. I think there's one here. Cambodia's population decreases. Remember, this is 2014. So we have to use past tense verb. Decreased. Cambodia's population decreased slightly from 1% to around 0.3%, while Thailand dipped down from around 3% to 0.25%. And lastly, Myanmar consistently went down from 2% to 5%. Really good. Well done. I'm happy with these. Good. Good, good, good. Let's just do a little recap. And what I want to do for the recap is actually go back to the beginning and look at the graph. Let's look at this thing because it's really quite complex. Okay, fine. So we can understand it. We know how to introduce it because we just rewrite the graph description in our own words. And then we go to the general trends, and we can describe Cambodia's general trends, for example, which was a little bit complicated. And we can describe Myanmar's general trend here. And we can describe Thailand's general trend here. That's not too hard. That was okay to do. But the third bit was tricky because what we really needed to do was to create 3 sections, because we can't write a sentence, a sentence, a sentence, because it'll just be way too much. So we need to be clever. We need to divide it into sections. So what we did was we decided we're going to do 0 up to, what was it? 34. We're going to describe this section here. And so we looked at Cambodia in comparison, compared to Myanmar, and compared to Thailand for this section. Then what we did is we looked at 35 to 69-year-olds, and we did the same thing. We looked at what happened to Cambodia's population. Then we looked at Thailand's population. Then we looked at Myanmar's population here. And we compared these 3 little trends here, and we used data from this axis here. We used percentages, okay? We didn't have to be particularly accurate because this graph in itself is not very granular. It's not very accurate. Then finally, we looked at this section here, and we looked at, say, Thailand's population decreased from 3 to 0%. Myanmar's population decreased from, say, 1.75 to 0%. And finally, Cambodia's population decreased from 1 to 0%. So you can see that when you find the way to divide up that graph, then your life becomes a lot easier. Yes. So what you need to do in that preparation time, or right at the beginning, is to look at this thing and to think, okay, how am I going to structure this? Because I really need 3 sections. Okay. Cool. All right, let's do a little Q&A, and then I'm going to call it quits because I have not had my dinner. Any questions? Jay, your tricks made the most difficult graph into an easy one. Good. You know what? I'm still not content. I'm still not happy that I've found an easy way to do this, but I'm beginning to think that there is no easy way to do this. I've sort of, for the other tests, for the PT, for example, I've found ways to make it really easy to write the essay and to do all the different tasks. But IELTS writing task 1 for academic, holy moly, it's tough. It's not just tough from a linguistics perspective. It's not tough because of language. It's also tough because you have to interpret the graph, and the graphs sometimes are really complex. So I'm glad that made it easier for you, but I wish I could come with you on test day and sit next to you and tell you what to write. That would be the best thing, but yes. Good luck tomorrow, Valentine. Good luck. You'll be fine. Do check out the videos we have on speaking, by the way. Cool. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks for coming along. I appreciate it. I hope that was helpful, and I will see you soon, okay?